Norman arches, Norman churches. Normans defeated the Saxons at the Battle of Hastings. But exactly who are these people and where did they come from? The Viking raids into England and northwestern France in the 9th and 10th centuries started it all. In what we now call Normandy, the king of the Western Franks, Charles III, the Simple, came up against a chieftain named Rollo, who operated in the Seine valley. Rollo forced Charles to allow him, Rollo, to settle his men on what is now Upper and Eastern Normandy, bounded by the rivers Bresle, Epte, Avre and Dives. A semi-legendary agreement has come down to us through history, known as the Treaty of ClairsurEpte, which in return for the gift of land to Rollo, Charles would be considered as nominal overlord and would receive military aid when necessary. He found he required aid fairly soon, because he was forced to make his state a buffer against raiding parties. All in all, he didn't do so badly. In 924, the Bessin and the districts of Sees and Exmes were granted to him while his son, who proved his successor, William Longsword, managed to gain the Cotentin and Avranchin in 933. Meanwhile, Rouen became the metropolitan head of the province and New Norman duchy, and so it remained. The vast majority of the native population were GalloRoman, but their overlords were of Germanic Frankish culture. The new settlers spoke Scandinavian, so it must have been a most interesting mix of language and customs. Rollo himself, it seems, was Norwegian. However, the Viking settlement, for that was in essence what it was, soon saw their new creation given the name of Normandy, land of the Northmen. The Normans in Upper Normandy in particular soon adapted themselves to the new French customs and began to speak in what we've come to know as Old French. The Norman dukes were a powerful bunch, none more so than Duke William II. Their relationship generally with the French king had always been one of unease. The king was, at least nominally, their overlord and so, of course, they owed him fealty, but in truth it was a fealty on nodding terms only. King Henry, rashly as it proved, managed to ally himself to Count Geoffrey of Anjou. In 1054, and more desperately in 1057, allied as he was with the Count, led an army into Normandy. Duke William beat him back at both Mortemer and Varaville. This left the Duke in a much stronger position. The English King Edward, William's second cousin, died in January 1066. Very few of us can be strangers to the events that followed. London was handed to him on a plate by the faint-hearted city fathers, and he was crowned King of all England on Christmas Day, 1066.